How's everyone doing? Good. I want to talk about this game. Um, Doom for the Sega Saturn. Now, my opinion is I love Doom. Doom is one of my favourite games of all time. And now, me personally, I love this game. Even the Sega Saturn version. But this is a bad version of the game, right? But it's still a great game because it's fun. Okay? So, uh, so what I mean is the gameplay. The stuff that you do in Doom is fun, you know. You got around shooting demons, and you had to find the red key card, the yellow key card, and the blue key card to open locked doors, and you had to find the exit switch, you know. But in between, there's these all sorts of demons out to kill you, and you're like a space marine, and have all sorts of weapons like shotguns, chain guns, rocket launchers to dispatch your foes, and it's bloody, it's gruesome, and it's just awesome in my opinion. The game now. Doom on the Sega Saturn, it it runs pretty badly. The frame rate is pretty bad, and there's it's just no excuse for why this turned out as bad as it did. But like I said, in my opinion, it's still a playable game, and we still enjoy the game. Now, for the longest time, we had the Sega Saturn, and we didn't have any other console, so this is my only way of playing Doom. Now, at the time, I thought this was fucking brilliant. You know, what I mean, this is awesome. Now, um, we knew that it was on other consoles like the PlayStation and PC, but we never had them. So, and I couldn't afford to get one, so I had to wait for the Sega Saturn version. Now, Doom came out on the PlayStation first, on the Sony PlayStation first in 1995, and it came out on the PC in 1993. But we had a Sega Saturn, and this came out for the Sega Saturn March 1997. And we went into Electronics Boutique on Henry Street, which is gone now, unfortunately, and I got this game, It cost me 50 quid at the time, and it was a lot of money, but this is a game I knew I wanted to know, because uh, people like people on the PlayStation were saying it's brilliant. People on the PC, people on the PC said it was brilliant. So I saved up my money and I went and bought it. But comparing this to the PlayStation version and the PC version, it's not a good version. Like I said, the frame rate is terrible, and it just feels like this game was rushed for the Sega Saturn, and no, that's terrible, But it's still a good game in my opinion. You can have a whole lot of fun with them. Uh, if you can get past the shitty frame rate, and it has other problems as well. Like in the PlayStation version of Doom, there was cool lighting effects in the stages, which made it more scary, more fucking atmospheric, and they were taken out of this version. We don't know. Um, but it's still awesome in my opinion. Like I said, we have fun with this game, and that's all that matters. So but the thing is, on the back of the box, right, you see the screenshots there of the game. Now this isn't from the Sega Saturn version of Doom. That's from Final Doom on the PC. So fake screenshots there, people. Plus, it says it has 55 levels. Now, there's actually 59 levels in total. Now, what you get in this is Ultimate Doom and Doom 2. So, false advertising on the box. Now, on the bottom there, it says one player. Now, Doom is a two-player game also. You can play deathmatch or cooperative mode. So they don't tell you the whole back of the box is a lie, and it's false advertising. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Um, Now the thing with Sega Saturn and the PlayStation, to play this game in deathmatch mode or cooperative mode, you have to have two copies of the game, two PlayStations, a link cable, and two televisions. You just have to spend a shitload more money to play this game in two player. Which, as awesome as it is, it's just not worth the investment. But if you want to, you could. You know what I mean? But But it's really Doom is really a one player game, a single player experience, and that's the best part about it. You're a lone space marine on Deimos and Phobos, the two moons of Mars, and the UAC is the name of the company that are using Mars to conduct secret experiments to further mankind. You know what I mean? But they're experimenting with teleportation technology, and they open a gateway to hell, and the demons come through. You know, so they start killing everyone on the base, the UAC base on Phobos and Deimos. All the Marines are getting killed, and it's just you left. So you have to escape Mars, and you have to stop these demons from getting to Earth. So it's a cool story, and it's awesome. The enemies in the game are awesome. You know, you have imps, which are like brown like demons, and they throw fireballs at you, and they take several bullets to die. You have pistol guys, and you have shotgun guys. Now these are like farmer humans that the demons turn into like zombie like things, you know, and you have to kill them, which are pretty cool. Then you have the chain gun guy, which is a big fat guy with a chain gun, and cool, you know. The enemies are awesome, and you have pinky demons, which are like big huge pink demons, you know, sort of like shaped gorillas and massive teeth and uh, claws and everything. And if these if they get too close, they rip off your head. Then you have Kako demons, which are big huge balls, a big ball like demon that can float in the sky, and it shoots out fire. It has a big mouth, and it shoots out lightning from its mouth. So it's pretty cool, you know. And then you have revenants. Now, revenants are dead imps that the demons brought back to life, and they fitted them with shoulder rocket launchers, which shoot out homing rockets. So if you see them, fucking run for your life, because once they shoot the rockets, it'll follow you around. You know, so get behind a wall or something and let the rocket hit it, like, you know. Then you have the enemies are just awesome. The Cyber Demon, which is one of the big bad guys, big cybernetic demon with a rocket launcher for one arm and big robotic leg. It's awesome. You know, Doom was just an awesome game, you know, and it's fun. That's the best part about Doom. It's a fun game, even though the Sega Saturn version is a bad version of the game. Now, the Sega Saturn is fully capable of running a perfect part of Doom, but there's so many stories going around about why this turned out so bad as it did. You know, like one of the reasons is the people that actually did the Sega Saturn version is a company called Rage Software, and one thing was they actually wanted to make Doom in full 3D, like everything in 3D, the monsters, the levels, everything. And they went to id Software. id Software are the ones that actually made the game originally. So for these guys to do anything with Doom, they had to get their permission to do so. And so they presented the whole 3D version of Doom to John Carmack, who was the lead programmer of Doom, and he says, "No, don't do it that way because it'll destroy the look of the game, and we don't like that." So they were forced to revert to 2D style, which is what the Doom is. Like the levels are in 3D, but the enemies and guns and everything else are all in 2D. So I guess they felt pissed off about that and decided, "Fuck you, then we're gonna rush this and release a shitty version of the game." Now that's one thing, one explanation. Second explanation is the Sony PlayStation actually paid them to fuck up the Doom deliberately, so it'll look bad in the Sega Saturn. That's one thing. Another explanation, you know. So it's just terrible, really. But look, I said, like for the longest time, this was we had no idea this was a so-called bad version of the game. We didn't know until I started playing the PlayStation version and the PC version. But this is still a great game in my opinion, even though the frame rate does slow down a lot, especially in the bigger levels when there's a lot of stuff on screen. But in my opinion, it's still worth it. If all you have is a Sega Saturn, then yes, I'd recommend it. But like if you have a Sony PlayStation, if you have a PC, if you have anything else, uh, get Doom for that instead. But like if you do only have a Sega Saturn, yeah, I'd recommend it. You know, even though it's the everyone says this is a terrible game, it is playable. It's just it has a slower frame rate and the light effects are removed. But the core gameplay is intact, and that's all that matters to me at the end of the day. The game is still fun to play, despite it having a bad frame rate, and it has missing lighting effects and stuff like that. Um, so taking all that into account, if we was to give Doom on the Sega Saturn a score, now I'm being generous here because I like the game, which I do. We have fun playing this game. That's all that matters. It has a bad frame rate, so that's 1 point off. The lighting effects are missing. The whole box is a lie, false advertising. You know what I mean? That's not necessarily the game's fault. That's the developers behind the game. You know, people always blame the game. It's the people behind the game, the people that actually make the game. They made the decisions to do this. The game didn't jump out of the system and said, "This is what it looks like." You know what I mean? Um, but there is no excuse for why it's turned out so bad. I mean, we say it was deliberate. One way or the other. Because there are other first-person shooter games. This is what Doom is classified as. It's a first-person shooter game where you're looking through the eyes of the soldier and you're holding a gun in your hands. It's meant to give you the impression that you're that person. You know what I mean? You're looking through his eyes. That's what a first person shooter is. Now there's other first person shooter games on the Sega Saturn like Quake, Duke Nukem 3D, Alien Trilogy. All these games are more advanced than Doom, but they turned out just fine. So uh, so Doom and the Sega Saturn would give it a 7 out of 10. It's still a good game. It has 59 levels. You have fun playing the game, even though it had a bad frame rate and lighting effects are missing. Now, the game has another problem. Because the frame rate is so slow, the enemies move really slowly. But you move really fast and you shoot really fast. So that makes the game easier as a result. But it's still a fun game, in my opinion. And I just like the game. It's just a simple. That's why I'm giving it a 7 out of 10. Call me biased or whatever, but at the end of the day, it's still a fun game. And I've actually seen people on YouTube play cooperative mode and deathmatch mode with the link cable and two televisions, and they had fun with the game. And so that's my opinion about Doom on the Sega Saturn. If anyone is thinking about has a Sega Saturn, yes, I would recommend getting it. But like I said, if you have a Sony PlayStation, a PC, uh, get that version instead. It'll be probably cheaper than trying to get the Doom and the Sega Saturn. We got this off Amazon. It cost me 50 quid because postage and packaging comes into it. So yeah, I hope everyone had a great day and uh, take care and bye bye. So this is once again Doom and the Sega Saturn. I like the box. I think it looks cool. And yeah, so that's it. I hope everyone has a great day. Take care and bye bye. Yeah, so yeah, a 7 out of 10. That's what I'd give Doom on the Sega Saturn. Now, I'm being generous there. Look, I've seen loads of other people say 1 out of 10, 2 out of 10 at the most. Yeah, but it's in my opinion, it's still a fun game. Okay. So take care. Bye bye.